What did you think of Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show?
Oh, McAfee show? I thought it was great. Aaron's just being his genuine, sincere self, and I stand by I'm with Aaron. Like, he should, to me, the people that should have been blamed for this whole controversy should be these reporters and these people that are asking inappropriate questions about people's health. Because if we want to open that can, let's open that can. Okay, you vaccinated? Okay, I don't know. Well, let's start talking about your other health issues like smoking. I'm down here on Santa Monica Boulevard right now. You know how many people died of smoking this year? Over 350,000 people. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about people that are drinking too much alcohol. Let's talk about people that are over-consuming sugar. Let's talk about people that don't work out and they don't do it the right way. I mean, those are far more crucial health drivers to the overall health and wellness of our society than if somebody's vaccinated or not, by the way. But yeah, if you ask that to somebody, they would be offended and they would have every right and they would be defended by society.
Brady, I love you. You're doing the non sequitur. You're doing the non sequitur. You're moving the goalpost thing. Let me play for you the question. I'll play for you the answer. You tell me. He's asked if he's vaccinated. He says yes. Then he says, I'm immunized. Take a listen.
Are you vaccinated, and what's your stance on vaccinations?
Yeah, I've been immunized.
Okay, and then let's play the full answer because he was asked, is he vaccinated? Now look, if he doesn't want to respond, he doesn't have to. He said yes, then he said he's immunized, and he was asked his stance on vaccination. Here's the full answer.
There's a lot of conversation around it, around the league, and a lot of guys who have made statements and not made statements, owners who made statements. There's guys on the team that haven't been vaccinated. I think it's a personal decision. I'm not going to judge those guys. There's guys who have been vaccinated that have contracted COVID. So it's an interesting issue that I think we're going to see played out the entire season.
Okay, so let's go through the level of lies. He said he was vaccinated. Then he said when he's asked if he's vaccinated, he said yes. Then he said he's immunized. Then he said those guys that weren't vaccinated. Okay. I don't know how your brain works. And look, could you have followed up on could they followed up and goes like, wait, you're immunized? What's the difference in immunized? Sure. No question. Okay. No question you could have. But he went off to say those guys that weren't vaccinated. That's telling everybody he's vaccinated, Brady. This has nothing to do with people smoking on Santa Monica Boulevard or any sort of personal health issue, whatever. And he was asked his stance on it. And he did say, I do think it's a personal issue. Okay. He didn't go into his, hey, I did 500, I read 500 pages of research on stuff. And then I called, Joe Rogan. He didn't do any of that stuff. He said he was vaccinated. And then he said immunized. And then he said those other guys weren't vaccinated. Tell me I'm wrong.
I don't know what you're blowing up at here because that's not even the issue. You got to go back up before that. What I am saying is that there shouldn't be a place in reporting that you would ever ask somebody and feel so inclined to ask them about their health. That's my point.
You're not asking about his health. He's not asking about his health. He's not asking about his health.
Yeah.
He's asking. Brady, this is a pandemic. Hold on, dude. It's a pandemic.
That is a treatment, okay? That's about health and wellness.
You're making this out like it's anything. You're talking about his health history and what he puts in his body. No, we're not. Okay, yeah. It's a pandemic. The league was hold on. The league was shut down.
Do you put the vaccine in your body? Yes, you do. Okay, we're talking health and wellness.
Oh, dude, I can't, Brady. I can't help you. You're acting like he didn't just lie several times over. You're acting like this is not a pandemic. It's 750,000 people have died in the United States. Brady, I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm done. I appreciate you joining us. I love your football knowledge. I'm gonna have to disagree with you. We're gonna have to move on. That's it. That's it. I can't do it. The moving of the goalpost thing, it doesn't work for me. It doesn't. All you got to do is, yeah, he lied about it. And he should have said, you know what, I lied about it because I just didn't want to pull up with the crap about it or whatever. But instead, he goes into all these other things, which is what you just did because you like Aaron. I like Aaron. I know Aaron. There's nothing wrong with him. He's lying. He got caught lying several times over. And if you want to say that this is just like any other health issue, then you're absolutely positively lying. It's a global pandemic. 250 million people worldwide have been infected by COVID. Okay, there's a reason that all these other countries want our vaccine. If you like it, you don't like it, that's fine. There was a disagreement between the NFLPA and the NFL over it. Last year, we couldn't have fans in the stands because of it. Let's not act like this is, did you get the flu shot or not? This is, did you get the COVID vaccine, which is the biggest talking point of the preseason. And what did he say? Yes, I'm immunized. Yes was his answer. Immunized is well, I'm trying to be smarter than all of you guys. And then he labeled everybody else who didn't get the vaccine. I understand those guys. So he's saying that he is vaccinated. That's all this is about. It's not about anything else. Okay? It's about a global pandemic where over 700,000 fellow Americans have died because of it. And he had a choice to make. And leadership, even if I don't like his answer, like, I wouldn't like his answer if he said, no, I'm not going to get vaccinated, I get immunized, and here's why. I did the research, I called people, this is what I've chosen to do, and I'm going to follow the health and... Dude, he didn't wear a mask against the media. Why? Because he didn't want anybody thinking he wasn't vaccinated. Terrible. That was the worst support. Like, I get that he's your guy and you don't want to... I get all that. Okay? Look... This is how I operate in my solar system. Okay, I have I have a friend. His name is Jeremy. I don't know if Jeremy's listening today or not. Jeremy and we've been friends for, I think, like a decade now. Okay, and Jeremy is a fascinating guy. He actually died. Like, I got a text from his wife over 2 years ago that he was in surgery for cancer and he died. He died. And then, like, the next, and I'm like crestfallen. I was on vacation. I was in Boston. I get a text, he died. And then I get a text the next morning, like, they saved him. They brought him back. He was dead for, I forget how many minutes. And they brought him back. Okay. So I was actually texting with him last night. Okay. And we had, during the election, post-election, like, he was going to crazy town. I'm not going to say which side he was on, left or right, because left and right have both gone to crazy town a million times over. And so last night he was talking about something else, and I was like, look, we can disagree on politics. You're still my guy. Right? But the way I work in friendships is I tell you I think you're wrong. Brady is clearly friends with Aaron. That's fine. I consider myself friendly with Aaron, not like boys, and I'm sure he'll probably never text me again. We'll never talk again. I don't know. That's how Aaron rolls. But my friends, when they're wrong, I tell them they're wrong. And all you got to say is like, hey, look, you shouldn't have lied. We can't make it's no different than the stance I would have with Colin Kaepernick. I don't agree with many of the things Colin Kaepernick said, but the thing that bothers me the most about Kaepernick was he started this movement, which became a huge nationwide movement in sports, kneeling before the national anthem, but then he never spoke about it. He didn't lead anybody. It was a leaderless movement of a guy who clearly was the leader of it. You know? Aaron Rodgers wanted to be a leader and wanted to be, you know what he said? He said, I'm a critical thinker. You know what you know what saying you're a critical thinker is? Look, I'm smarter than the rest of you guys. That's what he's saying. I researched this thing. This is what I told a friend over the weekend. Aaron Rodgers is full of crap. If he wanted to talk to Dr. Fauci, okay, I can't get Dr. Fauci on the phone. I'm just the 3 to 6, 12 to 3, depending on your time zone, on Fox Sports Radio. I know a lot of people. I could probably connect the dots and maybe get somebody to him. I have some friends that have worked in the government. I have a really close friend that was a lawyer with the Trump with the Trump team. Maybe I could get a message to him. He's Aaron frickin' Rodgers. If you really want to do research on it, you don't call Joe Rogan. You call Dr. Fauci. That's it. Call Dr. Fauci. And if you disagree, that's fine. Like, I spoke to Dr. Fauci. We disagreed on some things. Like, well, okay, he's kind of been an immunologist and foremost immunologist for the CDC for, I don't know how many, for the government for how many years, how many different administrations. But don't give me that crap of moving the goalposts and people are smoking. What? I actually really respect Brady Poppinga, who joined us, and I wanted to have him on to talk about football. I asked him about Aaron Rodgers and the vaccine thing because he knows Aaron. He knows the Packers. He's got a much better feel in terms of inside the locker room, having played on a Super Bowl championship team. And I'm sure that he thinks I didn't give him a chance to respond. Like, that's actually not the case. I asked him about it, and then he went on a long soliloquy kind of relating it to, he called out reporters. He did the thing that Trump did, basically. He did the same thing that Naomi Osaka did, where he made it all about the media is the bad guy, right? Is the bad guy because they didn't follow up or they didn't ask the right questions or how dare they ask him about the vaccine. That's a load of crap. He was asked a very fair question when every quarterback in the league has been asked that question. And oh yeah, by the way, like if you want to think it's us against Aaron Rodgers, like, dude, when Kirk Cousins gave his ridiculous answer, we crushed Kirk Cousins because it was a ridiculous answer. That's it. And so instead of Aaron, who we think of, the image of Aaron Rodgers is he's coming at you and, you know, he's confrontational and he's going to dismember you with his brains. Like, no, he didn't. He just lied several times over. And all honesty, kind of made guys that are unvaccinated, even though he said he thought it was a personal choice. He said they ain't on board with us. Being called they is never a good thing. But look, here's what I won't do. Okay. I have a dear friend. His name's Adam Klug. He's a program director in San Diego. And Jason Stewart is my new producer. He's fantastic. I'm sure right now he's like, why did I take on this job? It was so much easier when I was with Rome and those guys, right? I'm sure. Okay. But here's what I won't do. I won't get into a conversation when somebody states things as facts or debatable, which are definably false. Do you understand? It's like, I'm not going to get into, I'm not going to get a conversation about the election being, when there's been zero proof of the election being rigged. Sorry. It just has, right? So when you start with a lie, we can't really have a conversation. And when you don't admit, hey, Aaron lied there, and it's a global pandemic, it's not really like anything else. And everybody's been asked this question, and it is a major talking point. And the NFL and the NFLPA had to come to some sort of agreement in terms of testing, and every league has had to come to some sort of agreement. And like, look, we're probably getting close to being out of it because most people, like 75% of people in the United States, have received at least one dose, right? Like, what do we really? We're not really. You're debating. You know, we're not debating things that one's a fact and one's just fiction. So instead of going back and forth, yell at each other, like, look, that's good, we're done. Let's get to what the Fox said.
And now, what does the Fox say?
Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, Terry Bradshaw was at the Naval Academy in Annapolis. That's where Fox NFL Sunday was. Of course, Veterans Day this week. Here's what Terry said about Aaron Rodgers.
One, I'd give Aaron Rodgers some advice. It would have been nice if he'd have just come to the Naval Academy and learned how to be honest. Yeah. Learn not to lie, because that's what you did, Aaron. You lied to everyone. I understand immunized. What you were doing was taking stuff that would keep you from getting COVID-19. You got COVID-19. Ivermectin is a cattle dewormer. Sorry, folks, that's what it is. We are a divided nation politically. We're a divided nation on the COVID-19, whether or not to take the vaccine. And unfortunately, we've got players that pretty much think only about themselves. And I'm extremely disappointed in the actions of Aaron Rodgers.
It's fair. That's fair. By the way, as much as it is a cattle dewormer, it does have human attributes. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and say, but it doesn't actually work in terms of prevention of COVID-19 because the two most prominent guys who took it, Joe Rogan and Aaron Rodgers, both got COVID. Both got COVID. And we're not actually really divided on the vaccine. That's actually interesting, right? Because 3/4 of the country has actually gotten it. But the minority of people who have not gotten it are making it that's what we do now, right? We promote the minority of people. But Aaron lied several times over. Not wearing a mask at his press conference fulfilled one need. No one asked Aaron Rodgers if he was vaccinated. That's why he did it. That's because he was carrying on a lie. And as I told you Friday, I've lied about things. I'm trying to be better about being more honest with people I care about and even with people I don't care about. So I'm not telling you I'm an angel or I'm a saint. Aaron Rodgers lied several times over.